We're going to talk about short sales. Currently, short sales are not very popular, but they were very popular back in 2009, 10, 11, and 12 because a short sale pretty much is somebody who's selling their property, but they're short. Short in what? In money. Let's say I bought this property for $500,000 and I took a loan for $500,000. Now the house is only worth $400,000 and I still owe $500,000. And I can't pay the mortgage anymore. So I talked to the bank and they say, well, if you want to sell it, put it up for sale and let's see what you get. So this seller contacts you and say, hey, I want to sell my property, but I owe more than what the property is worth. And this happened a lot back in 2010 and 12 and 13. So a short sale is pretty much a deal between the owner of the house and the bank, where the bank is okay to lose money just to get rid of the property. So when you take a listing that is a short sale, you have to disclose it, and you're gonna have to work a lot. And these deals last between 3 and 6 months, easily. Because first of all, it's not just getting a buyer that is willing to wait that amount of time, but it's also working between you and the lender and the seller to send the lender what they require. So once you get the first step is to let the bank know that your property is listed. Then once you get the buyer and you get an offer, the seller signs it, but ultimately is not approved by the seller. The lender has to approve it. And there's an addendum to the agreement of sale for short sales. So once you get that offer and your seller accepts it, then you gotta contact the lender. And then the lender is gonna start requiring a bunch of documents. One is a hardship letter. What is a hardship letter? Why you cannot pay your mortgage? I lost my job, I divorced, whatever. Then they're gonna request financial statements, bank statements, and a bunch of things from the seller. The bank is gonna do that. The bank does not want money going back to the seller. So if the seller says, hey, can you get me like $5,000 out of this deal under the table? Do not do that. Okay, that's fraud. So the process will go on, and then you have to work with the lender to get the short sale approved. When it is approved, then you can close the deal. But it takes between 3 to 6 months, and you gotta work hand in hand with the lender and the seller and the buyer's agent to make sure that you do. Now, when you're on the buyer's side to submit an offer on a short sale, I just gotta warn you. In the beginning, the buyer is very excited and they say, yes, I wanna wait and I'm okay with waiting. And then 3 months go by, 4 months go by, 5 months go by, and then they still have no answer, they get desperate. So make the buyer really, really aware that this is gonna be a long process. I had cases where I told them that it was gonna be a long process and they still, 5 months later, they want to get out the deal when we were this close to closing. So you have to be very patient and very informative and work really hard. These deals are not bad, they're good, but it's better to sell them to investors because an investor doesn't care about the time. A regular buyer wants a house to move in, right? They want to buy. So please be careful with this. Any questions?